Hi, everyone, and welcome to our class today on photos and social media. It's great to see all of you here with us today. I want to go over a few things before we get started. As you all might know, we are currently celebrating our 5-year anniversary since the founding of this program back when I was a young kid in 7th grade. We are very happy and proud and excited about the growth that we've gone through over the past few years and where we see this program going in the future. This is our second class. Many of you joined us 2 weeks ago for our class on online banking. We had a great amount of positive feedback from that class, and we hope we'll get the same here. I also want to point out, and this is just a reminder that I want to make sure everyone is aware of, and I'll repeat this at the end of the class today. We are hosting on April 3rd, which is in about 2 or 3 weeks from now, on a Sunday at 11:30 a.m., a tribute event, which will have an in-person option at the Ramaz Lower School at 125 East 85th Street. We will also be offering a Zoom option for those of you that cannot be with us in person, but we really hope that for those of you that are based in New York or will be around, is available to attend this event. You are more than welcome to attend. Attending is free. The only thing I do ask is that if you do plan on coming in person, to please just send me a very brief email to my email at the bottom of the screen, and you'll all be getting an email from me later today with the recording of today's class. So you'll have it. You could just reply to that email and say, Jordan, I'll be there in person. That's really all you need to do, just so I keep track of who I'm expected to have in person. Basically, this event is going to be really amazing. We're going to have food there. We're going to have a bunch of speakers. I'm going to speak. We're going to show videos. We're getting a lot of swag, a lot of Mittler Senior Technology shirts and wallets, and you'll all see when you if you're able to attend. And we're also going to spend a nice amount of time talking about our plans for the future of the program, which you definitely don't want to miss out on, as the majority of our team will be leaving high school at the end of this year and beginning our years in college. So make sure to be there April 3rd. You'll be getting many more emails from me about this. If you are able to attend in person, you are welcome to attend. It's a free program. And I hope everyone will join us. If not, you could join us on Zoom. You'll get the same program and have really the same experience. Okay. Today's lesson is on photos and social media. I say this at the beginning of really every class, but we do have a lot of material that we would like to get through in only a 60-minute class. And I hope we can get through all of it. So if there are any questions, please just put them into the chat. That really is the easiest way for us to see them and to answer the questions. This way we could just, they'll pop up and we'll be able to address them if we find it necessary. When we talk about photos, we're going to look at 3 categories: taking, sharing, and organizing. And then for social media, we are going to look at Instagram and Facebook, the 2 most common forms of social media currently out there. Okay, so we're going to start with photos. I do want to point out before we get started the difference between the 2 apps on the screen. The one on the left, which looks like a rainbow flower, is called the Photos app. And the one on the right, which looks like a camera, is called the Camera app. And it's important to really know what the difference is between the 2 and when to use which one. All phones have this. These icons happen to be from Apple phones, but Android devices and every other device out there that has capabilities of taking pictures has these 2 options. The one on the left is what you click on to view past pictures that you've previously taken. This is the better way to share pictures and to organize pictures. The Camera app is used to take pictures. So you have to make sure you're really in the right category. If you want to send a picture to someone, you should not be opening the Camera app. You should rather be opening the Photos app. If you want to select a group of pictures, that's for the Photos app. If you want to, take a certain panorama or a video, you want to go to the Camera app. So that there are times where you would need to use one or the other, and it's important that you're not clicking on the wrong one. We're going to start with taking today. So we're going to start by looking at this Camera app. The first thing we're going to look at, which we do with many apps, is just how to open that app. This is an app that will already be on your phone, so you don't have to worry about going to the App Store or Google Play Store and downloading it. It will be there. And we're going to show you now there are 3 different ways on how to get that app open. And then from there, we'll show you how to start using the app. So I'm going to pass it over to Caroline now.
Hi guys. So as we have listed here, there are 3 ways you can open the camera app. So the first way you can open it is through your home screen on your phone. So if you unlock your phone, you should straight away see that camera app where was just circled in red. It says camera underneath, and it has a black camera with a gray background on it. So that's the first way you can access it. Right when you open your phone, it should be on your home screen. The second way you can access the camera app, if you can't find it on your home screen, is if you swipe to the left on your phone, a whole bar should come up and you should be able to search. If you see on top, it says search. So if you type into that search button, camera, the camera app should pop up right below it. So again, you just swipe to the left on your home screen. So if you swipe to the left, and this whole page should come up, and you could search it right on top. And it should be right there. So the last way you can access it is through Siri. So I think we've shown you Siri before. So you could say, hey Siri, open the camera app, and it should open. So yeah, like that.
Perfect. So those are the 3 ways to open up the camera app. Typically you could just click on it on the home screen, but there are different other ways if you can't find it. Now once you have the camera app open, we're going to do our best to show you everything you need to know besides from just clicking on that take a picture button. So before we actually get into that, I'm going to have Caroline just explain the different modes that you can be on. You see right now, right above my little white button is the button that says photo, which is the typical one, but there are a few others. So just Caroline, just briefly explain kind of the different options.
Okay, so as you see, we're on photo, and right next to it, you see video and portrait. So let's say you want to take a video of someone, you just swipe right to the left, and now you're in video. And if you press on that red button, then you'll be taking a video. So it's really just swiping back and forth between which mode you want. So now if I want to be in portrait, I can swipe to the right. And again, for the Pano, you could just swipe to the right again, and it should set you in that mode. So it's really just swiping. And if you want to get back to photo, you swipe all the way to the left.
Perfect. Okay, let me just, before we move on to the next part, let me just explain what some of these mean. We have, if we go all the way to the left, so the farthest one's to the left, you see the word time lapse. These ones on the end are rarely used. So you don't really have to really pay attention to them, but it might come up as something you might want to use. Time lapse basically speeds something up. So if you record a video of 20 minutes just of your phone looking at the sunrise or something like that, and you do this on time lapse, it will actually speed it up so that it looks like it's moving a lot faster than it actually is. That's what time lapse is. Slow-mo is the absolute opposite, which is it will take a video and then extend the length, so it will look like everyone's moving in slow motion. Cinematic is something that only relatively newer phones will have, and it basically gives this like film-like footage to what you're doing. Not something that most phones currently have. It's only if you're really on those newest phones. But it's something you're welcome to try out. Video is obviously the standard taking the video. You're on video, not just because it says video, but also because it has that red button. That red kind of gives that video impression. Then photo, which is that is the default. That's what you use to take a regular picture. Next to that, we have portrait, which is a way of taking pictures that actually elevates the quality by a lot. If you take a picture on portrait, of someone, it looks like it looks like it's been taken on a professional camera, because it does something cool with the background. Just like on my Zoom here, it like blurred out the background, and it makes you pop out. It's something really cool, and I recommend trying it out if your phone does have that ability. And then all the way to the right, we have Pano, which is the ability to take a long picture. So you'll see, I'll just do an example here. You'll see how it's giving me this like little arrow in the line. And if I click, and now the panel is going, and I move my phone to follow the arrows, you'll see as I move, the picture's getting longer, longer, longer. And if I click on that stop button, you'll see how it now took like this long like picture. Maybe you can't tell, but it's a longer picture than normal. So a time you would use that is if you want to take a picture, if you just went on like a nice hike and you're all the way at the top and you want to take a picture of the whole view, you could do a nice panorama of what you're looking at. We're going to stay today really focused on photos and video, just because I think that's where most of you will be focusing your time and energy, but you're welcome to try out the other features. Okay. So once you've opened the app and you've selected which mode you would like, so I'm now on photo, I want to take a picture. There are a few kind of buttons around this screen that are important to pay attention to. We're going to start by looking at that bottom panel where you see 3 buttons. I'm going to pass over to Sophia to explain how to navigate these.
Yeah, hello everybody. So starting with the main white circular button right here, that is your shutter button. So that is the button you will press anytime you want to take a picture. This is just the main button front and center. Moving to the right of that is our flip button. And as you'll notice, on the front of your phone, you have a camera, and on the back of your phone, you have a camera. This flip button will basically just, like it sounds, flip between the front camera and the back camera, depending on which you want to use. And if you're on the back camera and want to switch to the front, you just always hit that flip button regardless. Over to the left of your shutter button is your photos button. So right here, you will have a little snapshot of the most recent picture you took. Essentially, it's there as a sort of shortcut to switch to the picture that you just took and view that in a larger display. And then also in the bottom portion of the screen, you have your zoom options. So right now we're at a normal lens length, a normal zoom. But then to the right and to the left of the 1x button, you can see options to zoom in and out. But additionally, from these zoom buttons, you can also just pinch your finger in and out on the screen to zoom in or zoom out. So that's a more manual way to do it. But as you can see, you can sort of play with this zoom as much as you want or as little as you want, just pinch to sort of play with that tool. And now I believe we'll talk about the buttons on the top half of the screen from the camera app.
Perfect. Thanks, Sophia. So the flip button, which Sophia mentioned at the bottom right, is something that you might not think you'll use often, but it's something that you actually use a lot. I guess the part of the reason why you would click on that is to take a selfie, which is what kids call a picture using the front-end camera. It's a nice way of taking a picture. If you have no one there to really take the picture of you, you could just hold up your phone and use that front-end camera to grab the picture. Or an example, actually like 2 years ago, I remember a senior called me and said, my kids want to know if my oven is turned on or off. They want to know if I left my oven on or off, but they couldn't take a picture. They couldn't take a picture of it using the back end camera, so they flipped the camera and they were able to get the picture. I forgot exactly what the story was, but the front end camera is something that you will use, and it's a helpful tool to know about. It's really simple. Just click on that button and it will switch back and forth. That's really the flow of it. If I click on it right now, you'll see it will flip to now my ceiling you're looking at. If I flip it back to my desk. So you could very easily just click on that button and do this. You could also do this in video mode. So you could use either on any of the modes, you could use this function. And then the shutter button, that's where your finger is always going to be. Just click on that to grab the pictures. And like Sophia mentioned, that button will change red if you're on video mode. That's one of the distinguishing factors and how you know you're on photo or video. Okay, there are a few buttons to pay attention to at the top of the screen. If we take our attention up here, starting from the top left, we have the little lightning bolt, and this is what you click on to turn on flash. So when when it's dark out and you want to make sure you grasp the picture, you can click on that button to either turn off the flash. You see how it now has a line through it, meaning it's off, and I can click on it again, and now it's back on. So you could switch between it being on or off. There's that little lightning bolt. Next to that is a button. It looks like it says it's yellow and it says 2 seconds right now. This will not always be there. This is on a relatively newer phone. It's called night mode, and it will actually, without even using flash, be able to take a picture in the dark and for it to be clear. This is something that is turned on automatically depending on what the circumstance is. So you can see that button just disappeared because I lifted my phone up and it now is more light. So the phone doesn't think it needs the dark mode. But if I bring it back down, you'll see that button will just come right back up there, telling me that yes, this is a dark picture and it will require some sort of effects for it to be able to stand out. Next to that, we have all the way on the top right, we have a button for contrast. This basically, if you click on it, it allows you to adjust the levels of contrast. You'll see I could drag from rich contrast to standard to vibrant, and you could play around with this if this is something that matters to you. For the majority of people, just being on that standard level is fine, but you're welcome to, if you're a photographer, you enjoy playing around with these sort of editing techniques, you're welcome to try this out. Last thing, all the way at the top right of the screen, is live photos. This is also a great feature, something that people don't really know about, but it's something that I think is important to acknowledge. Live photos allows you to grasp the second before and after your picture is taken. So what that means is you're not taking a video, you're taking a picture, but the picture, like encoded in it behind the front of the picture, it's including the second before and after the picture, really just to make sure you get your best shot. So I'm sure this has happened to many of you, where you take a picture and someone's eye is closed, right? They blinked right at the second where that picture was taken. You're like, oh God, like I wish I had that picture a little bit better. With live photos, you actually can do that, because live photos will allow you to see the picture from a second before and after. Most likely there's a time somewhere in there where that person's eyes were open. And the way you could do this is if I turn on live photos, which you'll see now it's on because it does not have the line through it, and I take a picture, and I go to my pictures and look at it, you'll see that if I hold down, if I just lay my finger on the picture for a few seconds, you'll see it will actually show you the second before and after, which is a really nice feature. You aren't really seeing the use by looking at my keyboard, because it's not really, that wouldn't really need that sort of tool. But when you're taking a picture of a group of people and one person doesn't look their best, but really like a millisecond ago they looked a little bit better, you could still get that picture because you had live photos turned on. Another reason why you would use live photos is if you're trying to take an action shot. So if someone's doing something really cool, your granddaughter's doing this awesome gymnastics trick on the beam or whatever, and you want to get a picture of them and you have live photos turned on, you might be worried that you're not going to click on that shutter button at the exact moment that their feet are in the air and their hands are up and all that, so by putting on live photos, you could be a little more, you could feel a little more comforted and confident that when you get that picture, you'll be able to have the picture you want, even if you didn't click on that shutter button, that white button, at the exact second you wanted to. So just, I would say I keep live photos turned on. You'll see that anytime I take a picture, live photos, it will have that ability turned on. Some people really don't like it, but it's really up to you. I don't see really a big downside or really any downside in keeping this off. But if you do have a phone that has this ability, you're welcome to try it out, to turn it on. I think it's something that everyone will benefit from. Okay, there are a few more options, only a few more on the camera app, and you can access them by clicking on this little arrow, which you'll find at the top of the screen in the center. For some slightly older phones, it might be at the bottom of the screen. like over here or something like that. It might be over there, but for you're looking for a little arrow. Either way, it should be somewhere on the screen, that little pointy arrow. And there are a few more options behind that when you're taking a picture. So Julia, let's go through some of those.
Okay, so to access more of the sort of effects on the camera app, you can press this little arrow that you see all the way on the top of the screen that's facing up. And once you do that, a bunch of options will appear on the bottom of your screen. You can see that Jordan boxed them over here. So the first four that you can see right here, we've already discussed. This first little lightning bolt is the flash button. You can see that we have this little live button that we discussed. And then if we continue scrolling, you can see that there are a few more options that I'm going to point out. So this first one here that I'm going to talk about is this 4:3 button. So when you click on that, you can see that it will adjust the dimensions of your picture. So if you click on square, it will change your photo to a square picture. There was another option that I think, yeah, it said 16:9, and that will make your picture bigger. So I think that the default here is this 4:3:1, and it's sort of in between, but you could play around with that if you wanted to make your picture bigger or smaller. And then next to that, we have this little button that has a plus and a minus. So this will affect how zoomed in your picture is. Oh no, sorry, this will affect the exposure of your picture. So you could see that if we drag it to one of the ends, it will just affect sort of the lighting of the picture. When we drag it all the way to the right, it makes it sort of brighter, and all the way to the left, it makes it darker. And then usually it just sits somewhere in the middle as the default setting, which you can leave if you like that setting. Next to it is that timer button. So that's what you're going to use if you want to take a picture, but you don't want to have to press the white button. So let's say you wanted to take a picture and you're going to just press the button. You can run backwards sort of with a bunch of people, and it will sort of set a timer. So you can see that there's two different options. There's a 3-second timer and a 10-second timer. So if you click on that, it will then count down 3 seconds before taking the picture. So you can see here it's counting down, and then it takes the picture 3 seconds later. So you could use that like if you wanted to take a big group photo and you didn't have somebody to sort of take that picture for you. And then the last one that I'm going to talk about, you can see here, there's these 3 circles. This allows you to play with different filters that you can put on the photo. So you can see here, this is the original, but if you scroll, you can make your picture black and white. You can make it all these different sort of options that will change the way that your picture comes out, the different colors on that picture.
Perfect. Thank you, Julia. You can see that there's an infinite amount of cool features and things you can play around with on the camera app. I will just reinforce that timer button has helped me many times, and it's something that I really think you will all enjoy and benefit from. Everyone should imagine this: you're with your family, and you want a picture of everyone, but you want everyone in the picture. So who's going to take the picture? You're by yourself. You want everyone in the picture, but what am I supposed to do? That's what that timer button is used for. I've used it many times with my own family. You could take the camera, lean it up against like a book or something on a table, select the 10-second timer, meaning you can click on the shutter button, you can click on the button, and you have now 10 seconds to go and get in the picture. So meaning this is a really useful tool when you have a group of people, but you want everyone in the picture. You don't have someone to take that picture. You could use that shutter button. You could use that timer button. And then I will point out that these effects that Julia mentioned, like the black and white and the vivid and all these, you could also adjust afterwards. So for example, if you've taken a picture last week and you now want to look at it and maybe make it black and white, or you want to adjust its effect, you could still do that afterwards. This is just, it gives you the option to look at it now, so that as you're taking the picture, you could play around with the different options, something that you're welcome to try out as well. Okay, that was basically the tutorial on taking pictures, which is you're in the camera app. There are, I'll just do a very quick recap. Just get the slide open. We looked at the buttons on the bottom, which included the shutter button, the flipping button to take a selfie or a picture of a group of people using the front end camera, the photos button, which is that little snapshot at the bottom left that Sophia explained to view your most recent picture. You could zoom in and out by pinching or clicking on the different sizes. At the top of the screen, starting from left, you have the flash button, you have night mode, you have contrast, and you have live photos to get pictures a second before and after you click on that shutter button. And then by clicking on the arrow, there are a few other additional options. The first four are the same as the options on the top. Then you have the size, which you can adjust from 4:3 to a square or 16:9. And you could also adjust the exposure. You could turn on and off the timer option in order to select a 3-second or 10-second timer. And finally, you could click on the effects button to select which type of effect you would like. Typically, you're just switching between color and black and white, but you could also, there are also, I think, 10 or so options that are somewhat in between that you could use to make your pictures just a little more interesting. Okay. If there are any questions, please just place them into the chat. I do want to point out, someone mentioned about Android users. Android is almost identical to what we're saying today. They have the same two apps, the camera app and the photos app. They have the same shutter button, the same flip button. They have all the abilities. The only thing I would say is for those Android users, they might be in a slightly different location. So the flip button, which is on an Apple phone at the bottom right, might be at the bottom left for an Android user. But it's the same icon. You're looking for that same kind of arrows circulating. This class is being recorded, and I will send this to you following the class today. So you will have access to this if you want to rewatch it and kind of make sure you're getting everything down. Okay, the next thing we're going to look at is sharing photos, which is a big part of taking pictures, because you take pictures because you want to share them with family and friends. And I just want to point out the difference between the two buttons on the screen here. The button on the left is for Apple phones, and the button on the right is for Android phones. These are both called the share button. And this is what you're looking for, not only in with regard to photos, but anytime you want to share something or send something or take anything on your phone and send it to someone else, you're looking for one of these two buttons. If you're on an Apple phone, you're looking for the right, you're looking for the left, and on an Android phone on the right. On the Apple, it's like this little box with the arrow pointing up, and on the Android, it's like these three circles with lines connecting two of them. You're always looking for these buttons in order to share something. I'm not going to restrict it to photos because it's really used for everything. But if you want to share something on your phone, you're looking for one of these two buttons. So what we're going to show you now is, once you've taken a picture, how could you now use this picture to then share with someone else or share with one of your family members or friends? This is when we're actually going to transition from the camera app to the photos app. But there is a way which Sophia will explain on how you could do this from the camera app. So Sophia, tell us on how you could share pictures.
Yeah, so hi guys again. On that bottom half of the screen, as I explained earlier, the little clip image or clip art image that you have in the lower left screen, where you can see almost a little preview of the most recent picture you've taken. If you go ahead and click on that, it will open it to your full screen to where you can see it in better detail, like I had explained. But what happens if you had just taken a picture and you want to send it to a friend? And so from here, you can just click on your image from that lower left corner in the camera, and it will take you, to your camera roll. I'm sorry, Jordan, do you want to walk through this part actually? From the screen share?
Yeah, sorry, for some reason.
Okay, you're good.
Are you able to do it from here?
Yeah, so from here you can get to the rest of your cameras or the rest of your pictures, sorry, in greater detail upon viewing this one you had just taken. But in the lower left corner of the screen where you have that icon Jordan has just gone over, this is how you will share photos. So this is how you can text or email a photo to a friend. So if we go ahead and click on that button right off of the picture that you want to share specifically, in the lower left corner of the screen.
Give me 1 second, sorry.
Oh, you're good, you're good.
There you go.
Then it will prompt these options with maybe your most recent contacts on the top bar, but if you don't see the person you're looking for, then beneath that where you see what is called airdrop, messages, mail, WhatsApp, these are all options where you can directly share this photo now to anyone in your contacts. So if Jordan goes ahead and presses on messages, from there you can type in who you want to send it to. Sorry, we're having some issues with the screen sharing, but from here you can type in a name or of who you want to send it to, the picture directly.
Okay, should we go to the Photos app?
Yes.
Okay, so I would point out, typically when you want to share photos, you want to do it from this app, which is that other app we showed you at the beginning of the class today, that little rainbow flower. That's where you're going to typically share pictures, just because that's the better app for viewing pictures that you've previously taken and all that. The camera app is really, I would restrict to taking pictures. If you want to share the most recent picture, you could do it easily on the camera app. But if you want to look at a bunch more, you could do that from the Photos app. So we're going to show you a lot more in depth on how to view the Photos app here. But I'll just point out, if you click on your recent pictures and you're looking at your photos over here, you could click on that button all the way at the top right of the screen, which says select, to select multiple pictures. If you want to send more than just one picture, at the top right of the screen, you have a button that says select, and you can now click on as many pictures as you would like. So I'm clicking on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now you'll see that the 6 pictures at the bottom, and the ones at the bottom are the most recent, right? You see, these are all the ones that I was taking of today, have a little blue check option at the bottom right. And now I can look for my share button found at the bottom left of the screen, click on it. I have all my options to share and to go from there. And then you could share, as Sophia was explaining, click on messages. The only difference is now all those pictures that I've selected have been put into that messages box. I could put in who I want to send the message to and click on that blue arrow pointing up to send the picture. So once again, inside the camera app, if you would like to share a picture from there, you're clicking on the little thumbnail at the bottom left of the screen. This will give you the top 10 most recent pictures you've taken. If you want to see more pictures and send more pictures, or if you want to send a picture from 3 weeks ago and it's not one of your most recent pictures, you want to go to the Photos app, and you could scroll up and kind of find the picture you're looking for. Or you can click on select and select a few pictures if that's what you're looking for as well. You could select a bunch of pictures and share them all at once, as opposed to doing one at a time, which is something nice to have. Okay, I'm now going to pass over to Julia to explain pictures with regard to messages, how you could send a picture once you're in the Messages app, and also how to take a picture that you've received and save it to your camera roll, which I know is something that does come up a lot, and I think you'll all benefit from. Okay.
Okay, so to send a picture in the Messages app, you can first click on the person that you want to send the message to. So you could see here, we're going to text a message to Jordan. And if you want to insert a picture, you can see that there's a little camera button on the left over there, right above the keyboard. So you're going to click on that camera button, and you will it will immediately bring you to the camera. So this is if you want to currently take a picture and send it to your messages. You would take it how we discussed by pressing that white button. You could see that we have the option to retake the picture if we don't like that first one on top there. And if you do like it, you can either press done on top or that little blue arrow and it will send it immediately. Let's say you wanted to take a picture that you already have in your camera roll though and send it to somebody. You don't want to take a new picture. You would then press on that same camera button And if you click on that, you could see that all the way on the top is a little photos icon. And if you click on that icon, it will then give you your camera roll, and you could then select from that the picture that you want to attach. So if you click on one of those, you've now selected that picture. You could select multiple at one time. And then once you choose the ones that you want to send, you're going to press that same little blue arrow, and it will then send those pictures to the recipient. And then let's say you wanted to someone sent you a picture. So here we showed how to send somebody else a picture, but if somebody sends you a picture, it doesn't automatically go into your camera roll. Right now, it's just on your messages app, and it's in your contact with that other person. So if you wanted to then save this picture into your camera roll, you would press that little download button. You could see that it's right next to the photo on the right. And if you click on that, it will then save that picture into your camera roll. So you could see here, it has a little check, which means that it worked. And if you were to go into your Photos app and check, you could see that your most recent picture is the one that you were texted on messages.
Perfect. So once again, every time you receive a picture from whomever it is, if it's a picture you like and a picture you might want to look at later on, you want to save it to your camera roll. You do not want to rely on having to open up messages, find a message from 2 years ago and find that picture. It's not going to be fun doing that searching process. The best way to do it is when you receive a picture, if you know at the time, oh, this is such a cute picture, I'm going to want to look at it next week, or I'm going to want to send it to this person or this or that, click on that little button that Julie explained, which has now disappeared because I've already saved this, but make sure to click on that button and it will just save it directly to your camera roll. On slightly older phones, if you don't have that button, the alternative is if you just click on the picture, you'll see that you have the share button, which is what we've been explaining for the past few minutes. And if you click on that and scroll down, you will see an option to save photo. Which if you click on that, you'll be able to do the same exact thing, save the photo to your camera roll. But for those that have relatively newer phones, you will see that option just directly to the right of the picture, that just by clicking on it, it will put it directly into the camera roll. Okay, now the last thing we're going to look at with regard to photos before we go to social media is organizing. I'm going to go to the Photos app for this, and I just want to point out a few things here. If we're looking at the bottom of the screen, we have 4 options. This is the Photos app, that rainbow flower. We have Library, For You, Albums, and Search. I'll go through a few of these and kind of the important things, although you're welcome to explore this more on your own. If I go to Library, you'll see that it will give me options to view the pictures in different views. So we have years, months, days, and all photos. If I click on years, I'm now looking at photos from different years, and I could browse that. I have months now, days, I have all photos, and you can look at it that way. It also tells you how many pictures at the bottom, how many photos and videos you have. The next that we have For You, which is an option to look at. I'll say something nice you could look at here is the memories option here. For You is basically Apple groups pictures for you, depending on maybe there's a location that you spent a certain time at and they considered that like a vacation, or maybe there was something else that Apple thought was a nice way to group your pictures. It's actually puts together like a little slideshow for you. So you'll see that it says here, Charleston, North Charleston, 2017 trip. In 2017, I went to Charleston, and I guess I had pictures, and they put it all together into a little photo album for me. So something nice that your phone does for you. I would recommend just seeing what they've created for you by going to the For You tab, then going to Memories and just browsing through some of these. If we go to Albums, I just want to point out a few things here. If you open up a picture, let's say that here's the one that I was looking at with Sophia, you will see that at the bottom right of the screen, there's an option to delete the picture. There's a little trash icon. That's something important to know about. If you accidentally take a picture, or a picture you no longer want in your Photos app, or maybe you need to save data. Photos take up a lot of data and you want to get rid of some of them, you could click on that little delete button at the bottom right of the screen. Or if you click on select, the same way we showed you how to select multiple pictures and select 6 pictures, You still have that delete button, except you're selecting all 6 at the same time, as opposed to having to do each one individually. And you know you have 6 selected because it says it at the bottom, 6 photos selected. With regard to albums, you'll see how it says My Albums. If I go to that third panel here, the albums option, which I'll circle over here. These are albums that I've created. The first one, which all of you have, is called Recents, and that has all those pictures that you've taken. But then there are a few more that you're welcome to create by clicking on the little plus at the top left of the screen. For those of you that like to use albums and organize your pictures, if I click on the little plus at the top right of the screen, I get 3 options. One is to create new album, which is just like what I explained earlier. If you click on new album, you'll be asked to name it. So you want to name it something that you'll remember, trip to this place, or pictures of me and this person, or something to really so that when you're looking through it, you understand what the album is of. Under new album, there's new folder, which is your ability to basically group a few albums together. So if you want to put an example, if you have a folder called 2022, and inside that album you have a folder called January, and a folder and an album called February and March and April, you could group things that way. A folder is basically a mega album where you could put albums inside the folder. New shared album, which we're not going to get into today because it is a little tricky to use, is something nice that you could try out with regard to having a photo album that multiple people can add to, and multiple people can view the pictures without having to really share anything. So for example, if you and your spouse don't want to send each other pictures every time you take a nice picture, you could basically just add it to the shared album, and both of you will have access to that album and be able to view the pictures in it and add pictures to it whenever you would like. If you go on a trip with a bunch of people and everyone says, oh, send me that picture you took of that place, or send me that picture you took of us from that place, you could just keep a shared album called trip to this and share it with the 10 people on the trip, and they can now add pictures to that folder. So shared album is something you could try out as a way to basically you'll be asked to name it, you'll be asked to put in who you would like to share the album with. Those people will then have the ability to not only add pictures to it, but also view all the pictures inside that folder. I'll also scroll down a little bit and you'll see that there's an option that says people and places. This is another nice way where Apple has grouped and Android does this as well, grouped things for you. So you see it says people and places. If I click on people, it will show me all pictures that this phone has detected this person is in. Or in places, it will show me all the pictures I've taken from a certain location, which I think is really, really cool. If you look at this map, which I just clicked on, when I clicked on places, it's now telling me that there were 600 or 400, there were 126 pictures taken at this location, 107 from this location, and you could browse through this. Obviously, if I zoom in, the number will decrease and it will break up into different options. And depending on where you've been, you'll have different pictures in different locations. So definitely, this is a nice feature that your phones have for you. Okay, those are a few options with regard to looking at the Photos app. Last thing I'll point out at the bottom of the screen where it says media types, this is on the albums tab. You will see many more pre-grouped albums for you. So you'll see that your phone has an album called videos for you with 974 items. That's how many videos out of the total 6,651 pictures that I have that are videos, and it's done that grouping for you. So if you want to look for a video, it makes sense to just click on that videos tab and look there, as opposed to looking through 6,000 pictures and trying to find it that way. It looks like it also grouped selfies, live photos, panoramas, time lapse, etc. There also is an option at the bottom of the screen for recently deleted. That's something that you're welcome to try. You have 30 days, similar to other programs that we've looked at in this class, since when you delete a picture to recover it before it's officially deleted automatically. So if I delete a picture today, I have now 30 days. If I by accident deleted it, and I didn't really mean to, or I forgot I deleted it and I actually still need that picture, you have a little time span to go to the recently deleted folder found all the way at the bottom of the albums tab and just bring that picture back to your camera roll before the 30 days is up. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the slideshow here. Let me do a quick recap and then we will move on. So with regard to organizing, you could delete pictures by clicking on the item and clicking on the little trash can at the bottom right of the screen, or on the Photos app, if you want to delete a bunch of pictures, just click on the select button that we looked at to share a bunch of pictures. Click on as many as you would like. At the bottom, it will tell you how many you've selected, and click on that same trash icon to delete those pictures. The 4 options at the bottom of the screen are library, which you can click on to view the different views, years, months, days, and all photos. For you, which we looked at, has many different options, but most importantly, we looked at the memories item, which you can click on to view auto-created photo albums of pictures that your phone has created for you based on trips that you've taken or people that you've taken pictures with. In the albums tab, you have the ability by clicking on the plus at the top left of the screen to create a new album or a new folder, which is a group of albums, or a shared album, which has the ability of multiple people to see, view, and add to a certain album. There are a few auto-created albums like the people one and places, which you can view pictures of a certain person or of a certain or at a certain place. And then all the way at the bottom of the albums tab, there are media types, which has the videos, and you can go through that album, or selfies, and that's all the selfies you've taken. And all the way at the bottom is that recently deleted option to view pictures that you've taken and deleted, and you have 30 days to recover them. Okay, we're gonna now take a look at a little bit of social media. We don't have too much time left, but I do think it's important to mention social media, for those of you that don't really know kind of how to categorize that, is any digital tool that allows users to quickly create and share content with the public. There are a few options at the bottom of the screen. These are probably the most common ones. We have, starting from the top left, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Snapchat, Pinterest, Twitter, and WhatsApp. I know most of you use WhatsApp because you are in our WhatsApp chat. But there may be some of you that have not used these at all. We upload all our class videos to YouTube, so that's something that you might be familiar with. Instagram and Facebook, LinkedIn. I know many people have profiles on LinkedIn, but these are programs I would recommend checking out. We're going to focus today on 2 of them: Instagram and Facebook. So Instagram is a pretty recent program, although it has been out for a few years. It's probably the most recent of the crew. And it's basically designed for photo sharing. It's relatively simple. Instagram and Facebook are actually owned under the same lens, so they're pretty similar in terms of how they. Oops, sorry. They're pretty similar in terms of how they work together. Instagram is mainly focused on photos and videos. So while Facebook might be for text, whether you have an announcement to share or something that you want to post online, that's more a Facebook category. But photos and videos is definitely designed for Instagram. So just a few terms you should know. Post, like I'm going to post on Instagram. That means that you're uploading a picture to its site. Filter, as Julie explained earlier, you could select certain filters on different pictures. Hashtag, which looks something like this. Looks something like that. It looks like a pound symbol. This is what young people refer to as a hashtag. And you can basically categorize pictures by putting in a hashtag. So if I am posting something and put hashtag computers, now people have the ability to search in that hashtag, and my picture, whatever it is, will come up as it was included in that basically album of pictures related to computers. So you could put hashtags when you're posting a picture and putting that in the caption. We'll show you that a little bit later today. And then the feed, which is basically your home page, where you could view the pictures and content posted and shared by people that you're following. Okay, I'm gonna I'm going to bring you all to my phone now. And we're going to take a look at a few things on Instagram together. Okay, Instagram is the app that looks like this over here on the side of my screen. For those of you that are new to this and would like to get an account with Instagram, we're not going to go through that so in depth today, but you'll be asked when you open up Instagram for the first time, an app that you'll have to download from the App Store or Google Play Store when you first want to get it. You'll be asked to put in a username, which is what people will see you as when you create a profile. Probably you'll be asked to put in an email address or a phone number. It is a pretty simple kind of registration process. It is a free program, not something you have to pay any additional money for. But I just opened Instagram over here. If anyone would like to get an account with Instagram and would like some more personal help, you're welcome to reach out to me after the class, and I'll try and guide you a little more individualized on how to get an account with Instagram. Okay. So Joe, are you here? Let me see if Joe's here. I can have him do something. Joe, you can just text me if you're here and you're available. We're going to look at a few things on Instagram now that are with regard to Instagram. There are a few things that you could look at. If we look at the buttons at the bottom of the screen, we have a bunch of icons here. We have the home, the search. This looks like a little video camera, the shopping icon, and the profile. Julia, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Can you just briefly just kind of show like how to navigate these different panels, what you could do inside some of them?
Yeah, so the first one is the home screen. So if you go to that, you could see all of the recent posts. If you scroll on top, you'd see these sort of circles. These are what we call stories. So they disappear after 24 hours. But on the main sort of feed here, the bigger squares, you could see those are like sort of main posts. So they don't disappear after 24 hours. They sort of stay on your Instagram profile until you delete them. You could see that there's a little heart, comment, and those are different ways that people can interact with posts. So you can like someone's post or comment on it if you like that picture. Then on the next tab is the little search. So that's the way that you're going to sort of search for different people's profiles. Let's say you wanted to see somebody in particular, you could search for them, and you could see that it also just sort of gives you some recommended content over here that you could scroll through if you want. So you could either search for a person or a topic and go through that on Instagram. You could see that here in the middle, there's a little play button that will show you what are called reels. Those are just like sort of short little videos that you can watch about things that they think that you'll like. You could see that there's a like and comment button similar to the posts that you can interact with the videos if you like them. Then the next is this sort of little shopping bag. So this is like the way that you could sort of shop through Instagram. They have all this sponsored content and you could sort of click through and look at what you like. And then the last one, which we sort of already discussed, is your own profile. So you could see here that this is Jordan's account. And so these are all the things that he posted. You see here on top, these circles, those are all of his stories that he's posted in the past. So those were only available for 24 hours, but he sort of saved them to his account. And then you could see that below it are all of his main posts. So you could scroll through those, and those are the things that anybody would see if they were to click on Jordan's account.
Thank you, Julia. So as you can see, the Instagram platform is pretty easy to manage. I would say for the most part, you're on that homepage, just basically scrolling through content that people, that you're friends with or people that you followed are posting. In order to follow someone or in order to find someone specific that you're interested in, you can go to that search tab and just type into the search bar either the name or the username of the person that you're interested in following. So if I put in Say I put in Julia's account, you'll see that I could just, it should come up with only a few letters. I can click on Julia's account here, and I could click on follow in order to follow. You'll see how right now it says I'm currently following, so it says following, but you're welcome to click on follow if you want to follow someone. See if I find someone that I'm not following, so you can see what it looks like. I don't know. I just put in the word hello here. This account here. Looks like I am following this. 1 second. Okay, this is someone random that I just looked at online. You'll see that if I do want to follow this person, you have to click on that blue follow button over here. If that person is private, they will need to accept my request before I'm able to see their content, which is sometimes some people have. They want to keep their account private. They could, and it even tells you this account is private. So if I click on follow, it will actually, I won't be able to see that content until that person who gets a notification saying Jordan Mittler has requested to follow you actually accepts that request. There are also people that are public, and those people will not. You could see their content right away. Once you click on follow, every time they post, their content will appear for you inside the feed option. Okay. One more thing I want to show you, how to make your own account private on Instagram. If you want to make sure, if you want to just make your account private or public, you can click on the profile option at the bottom right. Click on the 3 lines found at the top right of the screen, and then click on settings. So once again, once you open up your profile, you want to click on your the little 3 lines found all the way at the top right of the screen, and click on settings. And then you're looking for an option towards the center that says privacy. And if I click on that, the top option says private account. Depending on what the account's for example, my personal account I have as private, but the Mittler Senior Technology account I have is public because I want everyone to be able to access that content, and I don't really care if they request me. So you're welcome to turn this on or off at the top right of the screen, depending on what you need. I would say typically people have their accounts private. If you would like to post something, we're not going to go so much in depth to this, but you would click on the little plus found at the top right of the screen, and you're given different options. As Julia mentioned earlier, there's the posting ability and story. The other ones are a little less common, but posting and story. The difference is post last as long as you would like until you delete, while stories last only 24 hours before the item is deleted. But you're welcome to highlight them as I did over here. That's something that is a little more advanced, and something that if you sign up to take our advanced computers class, that's something that we do go through. Okay, I'm going to go back to the slides here because I know we're just a little bit out of time, but we'll just finish this quickly. Facebook, I'll just point out, is probably the biggest, most popular social media platform out there. Instagram is catching up though. Facebook and Instagram are under the same roof. They run very similarly. Facebook is an app that you would download similar to Instagram on the App Store or Google Play Store. If you actually have if you have an Instagram account and you want a Facebook account, you could actually use the same information, which is something nice that you could use between the two of them. Facebook works the same way, where you have to follow people and they'll appear on your main feed page, and you'll be able to browse through those options there. You have your own profile. Something really nice, which I actually have turned on since I have a Mittler Senior Technology account on Instagram and Facebook, is every time I post on my Instagram, I have enabled, since they're paired, the 2 accounts, I actually check off a box that says also post on Facebook. So I don't need to post twice, but it will actually post the content on both those platforms for me automatically. And this is very easy to do, assuming that both of these accounts are under the same roof. So for example, I just created an Instagram account and I also want Facebook. If I go to Facebook and I sign in with those same credentials that I used when creating my Instagram account, and those two kind of lock together, when you post on either of them, it will actually give you the ability to post on both at the same time, as opposed to having to do everything from scratch. Okay. I could go on for another hour about social media, and I wish we had that time, but we don't today. I will point out that social media is very, very prominent in the 21st century. And it is a program that, for those of you that have not yet signed up for our computer basics or advanced computers classes, we look at these a lot more in depth in those classes. I think a little more in the advanced, but we touch on it in the basics. You're welcome to explore those. There are also videos, I believe, on our YouTube channel about social media classes that we've taught in the past, which you're also welcome to browse through. And you also have my email address, which you'll get an email from me, all of you, later this afternoon or tomorrow with the recording. So I know we just touched on social media a little bit because photos took a little bit longer than expected. But this is something very important, something I really hope you will all try out. It's something that I think is relatively easy enough that you could just try it out and basically see where your mind takes you in terms of which buttons to click on. But definitely reach out to me and I'm happy to address any further questions. Before I send you off today, very, very important. I mentioned this at the beginning of the class today, but I really want you to be aware of this. We're having this awesome event on April 3rd, which will have two options. You could either attend in person at the Ramaz Lower School, which is located, and the address is on this flyer over here. I will send all this information to you many, many times before the actual event, so you don't need to be writing this down or taking a picture. I'll send this to you, all of you. 125 East 85th Street in New York City. Obviously, I would like all those that are based in New York to make their best effort to attend. But for those of you that are out of New York, if you happen to be in the neighborhood, reach out to me, and I'm happy to kind of direct you on how to attend. But I really hope all of you will attend this event. If not in person, then online. The only thing I do request is if you would like to attend in person, which I hope all of you will, please just send me an email. My email is at the bottom right of the screen over here. And you'll also be getting an email from me this afternoon with the recording. So you could just reply to that with Jordan. I will be coming in person. That's all I need, and I'll be able to write your name down. What will this event be? Well, we are the four faces you see on the screen are a nice chunk of our team members, all of whom will be graduating from high school in June. And we'll be beginning our years in college. And the goal of this event is basically to speak about the work that we have done over the past 5 years since the founding of Mittler Senior Technology, and also talk about where we see this program going in the future. There will be food. We're going to have I think a bagel brunch. We're getting a lot of different swag options, wallets, shirts, things that you'll, I'm sure, be happy to accept. We'll have there will be a few seniors that will speak. I'll speak, my team will speak. We're going to show some videos. We're going to do a fun raffle where you'll be able to win something like a free private lesson with one of our team members. It's going to be a really, really great event. It's at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday, April 3rd, which is, I believe, exactly 3 weeks from today. But please reach out to me with any questions. You'll be receiving information about this event and other things that we have going on via your emails or WhatsApp chat. You're welcome to email me with additional questions. But I do request, if you would like to attend this event in person, which I hope the majority of you will, just go ahead and send me that email, Jordan. I'll be there, and I'll be able just to write your name down. Okay. Just finally, for those of you that would like more, if you want to take more classes with us, please sign up for our professional virtual classes on our portal. Just go to that site, portal.mittlerseniortech.com. This will be included in the email you get from me either later today or tomorrow. And sign up for our two most popular classes, Computer Basics and Advanced Computers. These are 10 full classes on different lessons. Each one's about 45 minutes. You have homework assignments. It's this whole interactive experience that the majority of our seniors have already participated in, and I'm really happy to say that. But for those of you that are in the minority and haven't looked at it yet, check it out and email me if you have any additional questions. I hope to see everyone in person or online on April 3rd. Thank you so much for coming to today's class. I hope you enjoyed it and benefited from it. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and I hope to see everyone again soon. Bye-bye, everyone.